Man, talk about not being able to sit down. So last week I talked about Birds, Not the Animal, the album from Karfagen, not realizing that it was actually a bonus disc off of this current album. So yeah, let's go in and talk about the new project from Karfagen. Passage to the Forest of Mysterious by Karfagen. So, Karfagen. I feel like I just talked about these guys last week because I did. Karfagen is the brainchild of the multi-instrumentalist, musician, singer-songwriter, Ukrainian of Anthony Kalusian. And Anthony has multiple bands, this one being one of them. He also has one that I'm going to be talking about soon as well, of Sunchild, but he's got his hands in a lot of different pots. And yeah, he put out the 1-2 punch of Birds, which was kind of like a reworking instrumentalized version of Birds of Passage from 2020. And now we come to this one, very similar to how he kind of dumps a bunch of albums all at once. Like in 2020, he put out Birds of Passage, The Principles and Theories of Sepketra, as well as like a whole on orchestra thing. Last year he did Land of Green and Gold and then the bonus disc. And now, yeah, this year he's doing Birds and the Passage to the Forest of Mysteries. What I really appreciate about this one is, unlike Birds, which was basically just a reworking of Birds of Passage, this one kind of has the essence of Birds in it, but moves the music forward. So it's not just a playing around with the ideas and the pieces and rearranging them on the board. This one's actively taking things out and putting things in to make a whole new album. There are still moments of Birds on here. In fact, there are 2 tracks right on it that have like a direct callback to Birds of Passage. One of Birds of Passage in the Enchanted Forest, but also a couple moments on the Mysterious Forest part 1, 2, and 3 that kind of go through a lot of different ebbs and flows. And just like with any Karfagen outfit, as you can already tell, there are multiple parts of songs. I mean, the album itself opens up with Kingfisher and Dragonflies Part 4, which is just kind of like a quick interlude before we get into the Mysterious Forest Part 1 and Part 2 that gives us about 19 minutes worth of music. And this is the stuff that I love from Anthony Kalusian and Karfagen. It's that really longer scapes of sounds, really stretching the legs, seeing what comes, seeing what goes, and allowing just that creative process to go through. I feel like on this album, more so than most of his other works, I feel as though we're kind of treading water a little bit, and we're not getting a lot of perch on these longer stretches of music. And it isn't until we get to some of the smaller tracks that we're starting to get a little bit of an idea of what's going on, specifically like Mysterious Forest Part 3, which is technically the closer track on this at 4 minutes, The World in a Grain of Sand reprised. That, again, we've got that nugget that I think most of the track is kind of circling around until it kind of finally finds itself. Now, this album also has the track that I've already mentioned, the Birds of Passage in the Enchanted Forest, being the 19 minutes. So really, much like a lot of Anthony's works, kind of have 2 epics found on this album. The Mysterious Forest and the Birds of Passage and the Enchanted Forest. And in this sense, the album can kind of be broken into 2 ideas. You have this new playing of music, trying new things, seeing what sticks. It's that ebb and flows, as well as this rejuvenization, taking out, putting in, kind of playing around with the Birds of Passage ideas and thoughts that we had within it. And overall, man, this album is a great time. You know, as with most of Karfagen's music, you're going to get something really, really special and really great about it. And it's interesting. I have the same amount of enjoyment that I have for Birds as I do for this album. It's just in a different vein, where Birds took what I loved about Birds of Passage and played around with it and rejuvenized it, but it really didn't do anything new. It kind of like knew what it was good at and stuck with it. I feel like A Passage to the Forest of Mysteries is something new. It's that new thing that I was looking for. So we got new songs, we got new essence, we've got new structures. But in terms of like new music, like it's definitely new, but it's all within that same kind of Karfagen, Anthony Kalusian idea and framework. And so in that sense, it doesn't really push the needle any way, shape, or form. It just kind of gives us more of the same. But I mean, more of the same of really good music is still really good music. I can't necessarily praise this for breaking the mold or trying something new or different, but I can praise it for providing us with some really fantastic retro prog music. So in that case, I've been really enjoying this one. I think that this is one of Anthony's best works. And I mean, I say that every time Anthony puts out something new. Each album that he puts out, he's learning from. He's developing his voice more and more. And I feel like he's definitely finding it here. In the end, I will say, A Passage to the Forest of Mysteries by Karfagen is one I would absolutely download. You know, this is one to have on your computer. This is one to have with you when you go out and about. I like this one when I'm going for a nice walk in the woods. You know, that's kind of the style of music that I love for this one. This is also a really good kind of, I know this is going to sound bad, but I don't mean it as such. This is really good background music. You know, when I'm doing chores around the house and I just need something to fill the space, this one does that very, very well. It's not offensive, but it adds a little bit of, you know, a symphony, you know, a little bit of layering to it. Then it's not just boring or drab. So yeah, this one gets a recommendation for me. Go and check it out. I think you'll be really pleasantly surprised with this one. And that's what I've got for Passage to the Forest of Mysterious by Karfagen. What did you guys think about this album? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Whatever you thought, please let me know by commenting down below. And that's all I've got for you guys today. That's all I got. Thank you all so much for watching. As always, you guys are definitely the best. And until next time, notes out.